Welcome to another episode of the Tradepreneur Show. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, brother. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, as always, man. Here we are chugging along, putting out these episodes. I got to tell you, I run into people I know, and some people I don't really know. I've just met who have listened to the podcast, and I've been getting some good feedback. I did get some not so good feedback, which was good.
All right.
Because it came from a very good friend,
Right.
and I always tell customers, I said, look, I love the positive feedback because it's great for my ego.
Sure.
But if I want to get better, I need to hear the bad stuff.
You grow from the bad
So
stuff.
it wasn't really bad. It was, hey, like the podcast, like the topics, the sound. You got to fix the sound. I was like, I know. A lot of that has to do with, and so I've been thinking on it a lot. I'm like, so we film this for YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I talk, I can be very animated. And I can do the dramatic pause and stuff. I'm like, that plays out really well if you're watching it.
Sure.
But not so much if you're just listening to it.
Oh, gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
So I was like, okay. So I paid attention to that. And I came back. I was on a long drive back from Las Vegas there for a conference and was re-listening to episodes. And then the sound, of course. And it's the one thing that I'm the most critical of. And so we've constantly enhancing. And you can't see what we've done, but different soundproofing stuff. So
The studio is growing, as
it is. So it was great feedback. I got some feedback on the forums. Nobody made a comment on the name,
Okay.
the Lodestar, but they liked the forum. A lot of the feedback was I didn't track anything. I didn't know what to do or how to do it really.
Sure.
Some people. This one guy in particular, he's like, yeah, I just used to write things down, kind of like I did.
Yeah.
But there was no rhyme or reason to it. So that was really good to get that feedback. So
Where's all the skilled labor going, Patrick?
well, there's a couple things that is causing the exit of skilled labor.
Right.
One, and it's exit and entrance. One is we got baby boomers and they're retiring.
Yep.
Right.
Are they retiring earlier too?
You know what? I don't know so much if it's that. It's
Okay.
just they're coming into this age, and hey, it's time to retire.
Yeah.
You know, they've worked their whole life, and here it is, time to retire. Some that can get out earlier are getting out earlier, right? There's people always, especially I think the boomers, they went into the workplace with this idea that, hey, listen, if I could retire by this time,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And so if they can pull it off and they planned it, then they're doing it. It was a generation that was very intentional in a lot of ways, right? So they're going away and retiring, riding off in the sunset, and all of that experience and knowledge and expertise
Out
is
the door.
riding off with them.
God.
And so that's one of the issues. Now the other issue is we've been pushing so many people into college, which again I'm not opposed to college. I think college is great. If I'm having surgery, I definitely want a doctor that went to college. Right?
100%.
With that said, there was this push that everybody has to go to college. Everybody should go to college.
Yeah.
And I had many friends that are like, I'm the first in my family to go to college. So there's that. And then what happens is everybody goes to college, nobody enters the trades. So you have this big exit, and then you have not enough people coming in to fill that gap. But what does that do? That's kind of a supply and demand thing, right?
Huge.
So the people that are going to be going into that, into the trades, now have tremendous opportunity. It drives up wages, everything like that. So now is a great, while there's a shortage, it's a great time to get into the trades.
We're projected to face a shortfall of about 550,000 plumbers by 2027.
Yeah, and let me tell you
That's a
something.
lot of leaky pipes that aren't going to get fixed.
I went into the HVAC space, right?
Yeah.
Ironically, when I was in high school, I got suspended occasionally. He might surprise you.
It happens.
Or there'd be snow days or whatever. And then I would go work for my buddy's dad, who had a plumbing company called F.J. Hess & Sons. And so I was just a gopher, and I dig trenches and stuff like that. And here I am, full circle in the trades, HVAC. But we've launched into plumbing, and my son came out of high school and went into plumbing.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves it. The opportunity in plumbing is huge. It's unbelievable the opportunity that exists in plumbing. And one of the reasons is a lot of people don't understand plumbing and what all that plumbers do. And there's a great story. My son got this. He was on an HVAC job, and he got this piece of fiberglass up under his nail. And he woke up one morning. He's like, "Dad, what's this red line?"
Oh,
right?
boy.
So my wife's an RN, and many years in infectious disease. She's like, "All right, we're going to the hospital." So we go to the hospital. It turns out, he had an infection. And so they're treating him. And my son says to the doctor, this young woman says, no offense, but plumbers have saved more lives than doctors, right? And he was so proud of that fact because, you may have seen the signs that hang up. It's something like plumbers protect the health of the nation. Mm-hmm. And they do. They keep the clean water from the dirty water. And back in the day, there was a lot of disease and issues because of that. So it's great to see young people with such pride.
Sure.
In the trades. And plumbing, there's a huge opportunity for plumbing. And here's one of the challenges with plumbing. In our community here, we have four, maybe 5 HVAC trade schools. We have 1 electrical trade school. There's not a single plumbing trade school.
So it's all apprentice.
It's all on-the-job training.
Okay.
And a lot of the trades are.
Yeah.
But you can get a good head start by going to one of those trade schools. Just kind of, you learn a lot of the technical stuff, the book stuff, right?
Right.
But there's none for that. So if you can find a company like the General that trains people in how to be plumbers,
yeah,
there's tons of opportunity out there with companies that do that.
Is you talk about the rising demand, and I would assume, obviously from someone who's not in the trades, but I have a working knowledge of what happens, because of that rising demand, it's also rising wages for the people that are there.
Yeah, correct. You've got to get people attracted into the trades. When there's a demand, wages go up, and that's a good thing. What really gets me, and I tell technicians this all the time. It's one of the things that drives me crazy when someone says, "I'm just a tech, I'm just a plumber, I'm just an electrician, I'm just HVAC," whatever it is. Because it's like, no, you're not just that. Like, you never hear a doctor say, "I'm just a doctor."
No.
Right? And we get called out to doctors' homes to fix their problems. Why? Because, we may go to the doctor to fix a problem with our body because that's their expertise.
Yeah.
When it comes to their home, a plumbing issue, electrical, whatever it may be, they don't know. They're calling you, the tradesman, the expert in that field, and you need to show up with the pride and the confidence that you are that expert.
I just had a plumber at our house yesterday take care of 2 problems, to tell me that my disposal in the kitchen is shot, get a new one, and then also a bathroom faucet that I'm having a problem with. I would not be able to troubleshoot that. I mean, if a sprinkler breaks and I've got to, get a coupling and a new piece of PVC pipe, I'm dialed in. But Patrick, other than that, I'm like, hey, you're the master here.
Yep.
Take care of my problem.
Yeah.
And you really don't realize it until you have to call them how much you need somebody like a plumber, electrician, an HVAC specialist.
Correct. There's a lot to know, especially in the plumbing trade. You go into a house, you've got 1 or 2 air conditioning systems.
Yeah.
Maybe more, but typically, let's say 1 or 2, and they're pretty standard, right? You go into a home, it might have 2 bathrooms, 4 bathrooms. It's got a kitchen, hose bibs, and each faucet may be different because over the years they upgrade, they remodel,
right?
And so just because you got this faucet in the kitchen, that's a totally different faucet in this bathroom. Then you go to the master bath where they did a whole remodel. You got totally different faucets there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to know. And you're dealing with water. And if you screw up with water, it causes a lot of damage. So you have to know what you're doing. You have to be an expert. And, I have a special place in my heart, as you know, for the trades.
Sure.
But plumbing continues to occupy more and more of that space.
Right.
And maybe it's because my son went into it. Maybe it's because back in the high school days, I did a little bit of it.
Of course.
But I think the real reason is I see the opportunity. I see the opportunity. I see young men and women, and I'm like, man, if you could give it 3 or 4 years, right? Like, you can change your life, you can change your family tree. And so, yeah.
Okay, so, skilled labor force is leaving, or retiring, which is fine. There's a void, a gap now, because a lot of people are in college. They're not filling that. People are at your mercy sometimes, for you to come in and do something. How do you, if you are in the trades, or you've just started out in the trades, or even if you've been there for a while, how important is it to position yourself as, for lack of a better term, as the expert or the doctor who's going to make that air conditioning system whole, healthy again?
Yeah.
Thing.
Well, and that's a great question. And we're going to cut to a break.
Okay.
And when we get back from that break, I'll give you the answers. Happy New Year, Coachella Valley. This is Patrick Summers, President and CEO, General Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Listen, we all know that New Year's resolutions usually don't last, but with proper maintenance and service, your plumbing, electrical, and HVAC system will give you many years of trouble-free service. Give us a call, get it tuned up, get the inspections done. Let's make sure you're good to go all year long. Happy to take care of you. Happy New Year. Let's make this year, 2025, an amazing year. All right, welcome back. So right before break, Mike had a question that I said I would have an answer to. And I do have an answer to.
Thank God.
Positioning yourself as that expert.
Yeah.
Well, it's super critical, right? Let's go back to doctors, because I think we can all relate to doctors. When you want to find a doctor, you reputation matters.
Yes.
School matters, right? To some extent. I mean, I love the saying where, what do they call the guy who graduated from the unknown medical school last in his class? Doctor.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So, well, that matters. People look, okay, where'd they go to school? How'd they do? What are their specialties? What they really look at are, what are their specialties? What is their experience? How long have they been doing it? And length of time matters, but then there's a lot of doctors out there that are young and innovative and are more in tune with what's going on versus the doctor that's been around forever.
Sure.
That might be a little bit old school, right? So, but either way, they're both professionals. And if they're both keeping up with what's going on and staying top of their class, so to speak, that matters. And what else matters is when you walk into a doctor's office, or when a tradesperson walks into your home, or you walk into their building, let's say it's an auto mechanic or an esthetician, what do they look like? Are they carrying themselves like a professional?
Right.
And they have the reputation and they're top of their class. What is their confidence like? One of the things I always tell the technicians, guys, look, stop standing like you're carrying a sack of potatoes. Stand straight, put your shoulders back, right? I also teach, there was a TED Talk. I said, guys, this is going to be funny, but before you go into a home, do the pose, this whole TED Talk where, they did the thing where even blind people, when they cross the finish line, raise their hands.
Absolutely.
And so I said, get yourself, you are the experts.
Yes.
Stay up to date on what's going on, and don't wait for the company you are with to provide that for you. A good company will, but regardless if they do or they don't, outside of your working hours, you're a professional. Invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Stay at the cutting edge, and that's where standing out from the crowd, it shows, not just to the customer, but I can tell you which technicians we have invested themselves on their own time outside of the hours they work here, and which ones don't. Right? It shows, and it matters.
It does, and I think a lot of people in a lot of different professional walks of life have a hard time saying, hey, I'm the guy, I'm the woman, I'm the person, you called me, yeah, I'm going to take care of your problem for you. There's a lot of people that kind of go, well, let me see. They're afraid to say, I'm going to handle your situation.
Yeah, that is so true. And on the flip side of that, sometimes they're afraid to say, you know what, I don't have the answer to this, but I have resources.
Right.
I will get the answer. I'm going to call in a senior technician. I'm going to call my supervisor. I'm confident I'm going in the right direction.
Yep.
But I want to make sure to save you time and money that I am. And I'm going to make that phone call. I'm going to get the other person on site. And it's okay to say that because not everybody knows everything. Back to doctors.
Yeah.
Doctors call in other doctors to consult on cases.
All the time.
Right? They bring them in. They either bring them into their operating room, they Zoom them in on a call, they stop them in the hall. Hey, what do you think here? And there is nothing wrong with that.
No.
At all. In fact, to me, it's the sign of a very competent professional.
Yes.
Right? Because you cannot think that you have all the answers all the time to everything.
Yeah. I mean, someone who's not afraid to say, listen, I think that this is the issue. I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you bring somebody in who's able to maybe go up to that 30,000 foot view and go, well, did you think about this? And you're like, no, I'm too close to it. Of course, that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like, think, if I go for a haircut and I want something done and the stylist is like, I'm not really sure how to do that, but let's figure it out.
No.
I might be like, now if they say, hey, look, I'm not comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know what kind of crazy thing you do to my hair they want to be comfortable with. But like if they said, hey, I'm going to refer you to this person or this person, I'll cut the hair, they're going to color the hair or something like that, right? Because that's their area of expertise.
You don't want them to get done with and go, oh God, it really didn't turn out like I thought it was.
And that ends up building more trust and credibility with your clients, right? Because you're putting them first and you're not faking it. It's a big deal.
No, it sounds like it's a good time if you're getting into that skilled labor or the trades and stuff. It's target rich right now.
Very much so. And here's the great thing about the trades. You do not need to go to college. You do not need to go to a trade school. Now, college is great. Even if you're in the trades, going to a trade school is great.
Sure.
But there are companies out there that will train you and teach you on the job through an apprenticeship and on the job training. And with that, it just brings to mind, I just read an article, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal within the last week or two. I've been traveling a lot, so like one day is blurring into the next day. Talking about how businesses now, big businesses that would typically require a college degree for certain positions are not requiring it because they realize they're passing over a lot of qualified individuals that don't have a college degree but can outperform somebody in a certain job, like IT for one.
Oh my God! And it's not like they're not intelligent. Maybe they couldn't afford to go to college. Maybe a family situation came up where they couldn't go to college.
Some of the best code writers learned how to write code on their own.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember the Navy. It's probably 10 years now, but they used to not allow tattoos up above the collar line on the neck.
Right.
And they changed that regulation because what they realized was most of the guys that had tattoos up their neck were top candidates for the nuclear program, and they were turning them away, and they weren't finding enough top candidates to go into nuclear school.
Yeah.
And so they changed that regulation because, times change. Right? We used to not hire technicians with tattoos. Right? Even I have tattoos. Yeah. You can't see them. Well, I guess the ones you kind of can. But we used to no visible tattoos. Well, that's changed. Times have changed.
And they're so easily acceptable now in today's society.
Yeah. I mean, so those types of things have changed. So has, what I like is there used to be this spotlight on the trades. Then it went away, right? And now you have a bunch of people with college degrees working in jobs that you don't need a college degree for with college debt. Now the spotlight's going back to the trades.
Big time.
and so much opportunity. So if you're listening to this, listeners, we wrap up here. Let me just tell you, if you're thinking about the trades, if you have questions about the trades, man, you can reach out to me. I would be more than happy to talk to you on the phone. I would be more than happy to have you come visit our location. I so believe in the opportunity in the trades that I'm committed to this. That's why I started this podcast, is to promote the trades. And again, not just the trades that we typically talk about, but again, I say the estheticians. Look, people that go into the restaurant industry and end up cooking and then becoming chefs and then
owning
restaurants.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, there's so much opportunity, and if it's something you're considering, take that as something you should pursue deeper. Do your research, figure it out, reach out to resources. There's tons of people. It's not just me. There's a lot of people in the industry that carry the same passion I do and be more than happy to help you answer your questions and guide you in the right direction. And with that said, we're wrapping up another episode of the Tradepreneur Show. You know what? I appreciate all the support, all the likes, all the listens, sharing it. And you can find us anywhere podcasts can be found, also on YouTube. And we've got a website, thetradepreneurshow.com. We have some downloadables there that you can get. So check us out, and thank you.